like hearing myself talk, but
Some people love hearing themselves talk. You're not one of those people?
no, absolutely not.
Well, I'm sorry it took me about how long? Oh, you got here at 12 o'clock. I have my Apple
About
Watch
twelve
upside
thirty. That's
down.
all right. 12:31 on the meter.
Oh man, it feels like I've been running around like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to get this whole studio set up.
That's all right.
Yeah, no. Somebody asked me. I posted my last podcast on Reddit, and they said, "Hey, it's a great podcast, but you don't ever say what you do, why you're doing it." So I guess I'll talk to the camera. This is the V Pod. V doesn't know what he's doing. V decided he wanted to start a podcast. I like talking to local entrepreneurs. I like to talk to people in general, and I just like to have genuine conversations. And in a selfish way, I want to put myself out there. Where exactly I'm going, I don't know, but dog chasing cars at the moment, we'll see where it lands. But today, I'm really excited. I think it took me so long, Will, because I was super pumped to get you on here
Let's
because
go.
I love talking to entrepreneurs, especially young entrepreneurs. And how old are you?
I actually just turned 28 on the 8th,
Just
November 8th.
just turned 28.
Crazy.
You have, we're definitely going to get into that. You are the owner of Vintage Iron Gym, a gym that nobody knew about very long ago because it did not exist.
Correct.
When did you open? You want to tell the people kind of what kind of gym you've got going on, what it's called, where it is, all that, all the basics?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. Uh, yeah, my name is Will Martin, the owner of Vintage Iron in Winchester, Virginia. Day one of business, February 12th, 2022. So things have been rolling. We've expanded twice inside our current location. I know you've been with us for probably over a year, close to a year, somewhere in there.
I think I first signed up in March. I walked into one of the other establishments,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't loving the vibe, and I had seen like a lot of people talking about social media, seeing it a little bit here and there, and I walked in and I signed up. I said, "This is the place."
Heck yeah.
Yeah, you've got something special going there,
I
man.
appreciate
You've got
it.
something special going there, and I like to think of myself as a fan of the game of business, but knowing a little bit about your background, it's not a game when you're really in entrepreneurship, right? It's like,
Yeah.
I think I had a conversation with someone else on this podcast. It's kind of like you're getting punched in the face repeatedly, and it is rough. It is scary. There's a lot of risk,
That is
and
true.
you've done two kind of things in here that we're going to talk about, but like the gym business, and obviously during COVID, a lot of people went out of business because you literally couldn't go to the gym. You started something that has a pretty high failure rate, and it takes a lot of time to get to that traction point. I know you're still you got big goals with it, I'm sure, but you have blown up, my friend. I mean, I can't walk around Winchester without seeing someone wearing some vintage iron stuff on the
The
weekends now.
merch. The merch is crazy, man. It's almost like a accidental, I don't even know the right word, but byproduct of opening the gym. Because we created our logo middle of 2021. I think it was like April. When I finally got my logo designed, I got those back to me. And like with the gym Vintage Iron, we have like some of the old school, Flex Fitness, Body Masters, Nautilus, Strive. We have a lot of those pieces. So, and then a mix of some of the newer stuff in the industry. So, brand new stuff from Atlantis and Prime.
It's eclectic, man.
Yeah.
It's really eclectic. Let me tell you, right? I've been a member of Lifestyle Fitness. I've been a member of Golds. Oh gosh, Golds. I've been a member at Planet Fitness in multiple different locations. I've been a member at some Anytime Fitness kind of places. And I think what it is for me, and I don't know if you can echo. I don't know if anybody can relate. Rather, that's watching this. I think you've just checked every little box of what I like the most out of those places and put it under one roof. In that you're 24/7,
Yep.
right? You've expanded like crazy, which is awesome
Yeah.
because it's just more room for activities, right? Little Step Brothers
That's
quote
right.
there. And the brand though, the identity. It's like I know we were talking about the merch and the logo.
Mhm.
I'll be honest, like I always like to support local businesses, right? And you are local to Winchester. That is where you started. Are
Yeah.
you from
I
Winchester?
am from Winchester.
Yeah, love it. Locally owned, locally grown, right?
John Hanley
So-
High School, class of 2014.
Wow.
10-year reunion next year.
No kidding.
Crazy.
Oh man, I bet that's gonna be a fun one for you,
It
right?
should be interesting. Should be a good time.
Yeah.
So hopefully.
Hometown hero in my book, man. I mean, it's pretty rare, dude, to see the branding, right? Like Winchester is an amazing place. I love it. But I think from like looking at different businesses that have sprouted up, that have tried to sprout up, and a lot of them are no longer here, right? And it's just nature of business,
Right.
especially in places like restaurants, in places like gyms, especially. Like there's a pretty big failure rate there
Yeah.
in the first few years. You've been kind of expanding like crazy in that time. You're adding a lot of that equipment. When you walk in, you can't really put a label on it at first because it's so unique from any other gym that I've walked into, from the
Yeah.
branding to the type of equipment, to the vibe. You got the 24/7 access.
Have some arcade machines in there.
You got some arcade machines now too. I mean, come
It's
on.
vintage, right?
Yeah,
Gotta be
yeah,
on brand. But
yeah.
yeah, it's been crazy, man. Uh, just I think given the circumstances of starting out, we started with like 5,100 square feet. Looking back out or looking back on it, I think I had like a little square desk and a folding table as our lobby, like a clothing rack from Target. and then and then now, I mean, we're tripled in size. We have full locker rooms. We have turf, a lot of equipment. We have a new storefront lobby, so now we're not back in the dungeon in the plaza,
Yeah, yeah.
which is huge. So it's just been crazy though. But
So take us back, man. Take us
yeah,
back. It's been a couple of years almost that you started. Not even.
hmm
It's crazy to me to see you blow up on the scene like
yeah,
that. How did it start? I mean, did you have a business partner? Did you have like people come in and say like, hey, like Will, you know a lot of people. You're local. Like, we
hmm
want to start this. You have like silent investors. Are you someone who like comes from like a bodybuilding family, or was it a passion growing up? I mean, give us some background. Like, why'd you
yeah.
get into the gym business?
I think it kind of stems back to being in high school and being on vacation with my family. We always go to Ocean City, New Jersey.
Ocean City? Oh,
Ocean
man,
City,
I've been
New
to Ocean
Jersey, man.
City.
Always a
Yeah,
good time.
yeah.
And I think when I kind of like had an injury in high school and started getting into lifting a little more, my buddy and I went to a local gym in New Jersey and kind of fell in love with the vibe, garage doors, just a good locally owned type of gym. And then over the years, we would always go back and back, and it was kind of always that pipe dream. I mean, I've had a lot of people over the last couple of years be like, well, like it's always been my dream to open a gym. Um, I'd always talk about doing it, and that was me in high school and college, just kind of in the back of my mind, right?
Yeah.
And then the good old pandemic, 2020 rolls around. So I'm living in Annapolis, doing outside sales, selling ergonomic office furniture.
Yeah, oh, break this down, 'cause I've done outside sales through the phone and personal. For the people watching, just explain what outside sales is, maybe, what you were doing specifically,
I
if you
guess
want.
the fastest way to describe it, cold calling and selling a product and demoing it and hopefully getting the sale.
Oh, so random people, like you're going down
Yeah.
like businesses or
So
like individual.
I would call like facilities managers, HR people, anyone, or really anyone I could get on the phone to be, hey, basically my name's Will. I sell really good ergonomic office furniture. Can we have a meeting? So, but back to the pandemic, that was my job. I was before I got furloughed first. I had to have 100 activities a day, which if my previous employer is watching this, I don't think I logged one correctly.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was a bad time. I mean, I know like a lot of people kind of dealt with whether it's drinking or lack of exercise or just being stuck inside,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
for myself specifically, just kind of dealing with the negative, really negative things of COVID, like drinking again and playing a lot of Fortnite. I guess that was probably the only positive that came out of it. But trying to make all these cold calls to these people and do all these activities was very stressful. And I eventually got furloughed, and then I got laid off in June. And at this time, I'm probably the heaviest I've ever been, most out of shape I've ever been. And as soon as we were in Ocean City, New Jersey, uh, it was June of that year, and I really wanted to go to the gym, but they were closed. And so I remember stepping on the scale, and I was like, "Wow, that's not what I thought I weighed." And something just kind of snapped, and we got back to Winchester, and because I moved in with my parents at the time in the basement, and just right back to work with working out, kind of obsessive with it. Uh, and then September rolls around, and I'm like, "What the hell am I gonna do?" I have all this unemployment money, which ended up being like 9 grand. They back paid to me at once, which that was like the most money I've ever had in my life. So I took like 6 grand of that. I bought 6 pieces of equipment, which looking back on it, probably weren't the best buys. But that kind of kickstarted the maybe I can open a gym. Didn't know how expensive it was going to be or how long it was going to take to get open, but there we are.
Wow, man. That's it's crazy. It's such a short amount of time, man. Like
Yeah.
if you think about it, like 5 pieces of equipment, 6 grand, that's nothing. One of your machines probably costs more than that in there at this point,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like those Atlanta, I don't know what those cost. You don't have to tell us, but those Atlantis things
They're a
cannot
little
be.
pricey,
They cannot be cheap. Dude.
but that's kind of having the mix of the old school and some of the best new school stuff. It
Yeah,
just meshes
yeah.
together for if you're looking for weightlifting and an environment 24/7, then I would take vintage iron all day.
Let's go back a little bit actually, because
Mm.
you mentioned when you were in Ocean City, it jumps out at me because I think I know I had mine right. Like I hit like a really low point in my life, and I've hit low points at different times, right? I've had my depression and everything, and during COVID, I think a lot of people had that, right? During
Yeah,
the pandemic, a lot of people were isolated. They're sitting at home, and you talking about being in Ocean City and kind of like trying to go to the gym. Up, you've built something incredible, and I think a common denominator in a lot of successful entrepreneurs and a lot of success stories, redemption stories, is you have that moment of clarity that comes from a moment of despair, of like rock bottom. Some people call it. Some people call it. I mean, it's just that really low point that's full of pain and like an element of misery. But from that, it kind of you can kind of transmute that, right? You turn that into your catalyst for growth, and you built this community. Because that's what you've done, right? You haven't just started a gym.
yeah.
And a good example of this is I went to the Halloween costume contest, right?
That
Where
was a good time.
you got like Spider Man benching, you got like Bane. That Bane costume was dope.
Yeah, he
Who,
won.
who else was there?
Should we had Thor, or not Thor, Kratos.
Kratos,
Kratos was badass.
Jedi, Mermaid
Jedi,
Man.
Mermaid
Mermaid
Man.
Man was
Yeah, that's a good one.
fire, right?
We had my brother as the hot dog with the lightsaber.
He looked like such a sad hot dog. He looked like such a. I was trying to have a serious moment here. We went.
I'm sorry.
I mean, hot dogs will take the seriousness out.
But
But I mean, but on a serious
the,
note, like you built this beautiful thing, man,
mm,
and a lot of it has to do with people and community,
yeah,
and I really feel that at the gym, not just during the benching contest, and it's not just because you have Atlantis machines and you have that, which is dope, which is great,
yeah.
it's unique, you have an amazing brand. But I mean, can you speak to that a little bit? Because like one thing I noticed is I'm walking there, you have a plaque dedicated to all the people that supported you and helped you get there,
Mhm.
right? I don't know. What does that bring to mind for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think community is the biggest thing. I mean, over the last couple of years, like with the gym specifically, talking about community and saying like you can have the best equipment in the world, you can have the best space in the world, but if you don't have people in there, if you don't have a community in there, it's just a big old space with equipment. So I take a lot of pride in what we've built with the community specifically, and I think people like to rally around our brand and just be a part of something bigger than I just go to a gym or the gym, right? So I don't know, just take a lot of pride in it.
Man, yeah, it shows, like when I walk in there and you're like doing your feng shui thing and you're like you're playing like it feels like you're playing like Tetris with like giant
It never ends.
expensive machines. It's like half the time you're like I'm walking and Will's like, "Oh, there goes Will."
You're right.
You're there like half the time you're like fixing stuff up. The other
Yeah.
half you're like moving stuff around and but it's like you've actually very quickly, I feel, and this is my opinion.
Mhm.
I walk around town and I've had so many conversations. There was a drunk guy too, but usually they're not drunk. But I mean, he was allowed to be drunk. It was like Halloween night. It was like 12 o'clock on the
You're
walking
right.
mall, right? But people love vintage iron. Like they are proud to
It's
be at the
crazy.
gym. If they see somebody in public and they're wearing like, like they're wearing like a Nike shirt or whatever, it's like okay, everybody's got Nike,
Yeah.
right? To me, it's special. It holds a close place in my heart because this is a local business. Like you were born when at Hanley High School. Like
Yeah.
you are from Winchester, a local business owner,
Born and raised.
and that is just awesome, man. That is just awesome.
It's been crazy. That's the best word to describe it. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of stress. A lot of good stress. But it's been a lot of fun. And then seeing like back to the merch too, like seeing people around, like when I'm out and I see it in public, it's like, no way. Like
Surreal,
that's my
right?
gym.
That's gotta be so
It's so
surreal.
cool, man. And like now you can buy stuff online. It's on our website. You can shop now. Um, but like next day shipping, and we've shipped things out to, I mean, Texas, Florida, Pennsylvania.
And those are people that have never been in the gym, right? So
Some of those people,
it's
yeah, haven't.
and e-commerce is interesting. Is like anybody can kind of sell anything anywhere, but like, look, clothing is really competitive. Like you can go on
Yeah,
Amazon and look at shirts until the end of time, basically, right?
there's a lot of shirts.
There's a lot of shirts, bro. There's a lot of shirts.
Yeah.
So like, my question to you is because it's subjective, right? But like,
Mhm.
I mean, subjective and objectively, like you blew up fast and people love the branding. It is unique. We'll get into that. But like, do you
Yeah.
have like a design background? Did you like come up with the logo idea? Do you like crowdsource these things? Is because
Definitely. So I actually had a buddy from college do the original design, and but I knew I always wanted to open a gym with, and I will never get away from the vision for the gym, which is I always wanted a gym with old school equipment and a cool environment, and that's what I wanted to build Vintage Iron around, hence the name, and then the fun marketing side and the creative side, which is what I like a lot as well. You know, they just kind of merged together. So a lot of 80s and 90s inspired. The hat that I'm actually wearing is from Flex Fitness.
Mhm.
We actually have a lot of Flex pieces in the gym. And so I took a little bit of inspiration from, like Flex, and then just 80s, 90s designs, man. I mean, we have, uh, that 90s Dixie cup type.
Yep,
We have
yep.
one of our murals in the gym done by Jesse Jennings,
I love that mural.
Grizzly Bear Designs on
I love all
Instagram.
the murals, but
Yeah, Jesse did a hell of a job. But I wanted to incorporate things like that because it's vintage, right?
Mhm.
And the equipment and the new school stuff too. It all kind of meshes together. But yeah, sorry, I kind of lost track of where we were going.
No,
with
I
that.
mean, we were just kind of talking about the brand, the merch is. I
Oh, the
mean,
logo.
I think a lot of
Yeah.
people don't realize, and like I know so many people that have tried to start clothing businesses, and honestly, like I tell people, like don't do it. When they come to me, I'm like, I'm not a negative person, and I think you can
Yeah.
succeed at anything, but I'm like, man, just don't even try to do it. But you didn't go into the merch business. It's kind
Correct.
of like you accidentally did it. That's what like I'm hearing like a lot of organically, like you have a mind for it.
Yeah.
You have a mind for it. You have a vision, is the word you just used.
Hmm.
And there's just a very unique, like it's almost like street graffiti, but it's also got this like classy 80s, 90s kind of look.
Yeah.
It's very different from like like 80s and like retro's kind of making a comeback, but you did it
Yep.
with such a unique twang, and you're doing it with
Yeah.
such a unique twang that like it feels fresh. And I think fresh is a great way to describe how I feel about vintage in general. It's like whether there's new equipment like every
Hmm.
single month, there's like a new expansion, there's like a new like event. You guys, your supplement game is pretty on point nowadays too.
Supplements
Yeah,
are taking off. Yeah.
you got something right there. I imagine is
I do.
probably
This is actually from Vintage Iron, but it's it's Axe Sledge energy drink. Sponsor us.
you getting paid for this. Oh, right,
No,
yeah.
no.
Trying to, right? Trying to.
Not sponsored,
I'm right
but
there with you. I'm going for the Celsius money.
but no, I mean, yeah, we sell a lot of different energy drinks, a lot of different brands for supplements too. Yeah, the supplements have been taking off a little bit. We have an in-body scan in the gym now, which has been pretty cool.
In body scan. So that's like
Yeah,
what kind of machine is that exactly?
it'll tell you like your body fat percentage, like the one that you stand on, you hold.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
What? Maybe I don't want to get too off track here.
that's
Like,
right.
it's not like there's like the DEXA scans, right? That are like more in
I think that's
depth.
the most
Those
accurate one.
Those are the most accurate ones,
Yeah,
and the one you
like
guys
the
have is like,
underwater one. Yeah,
yeah.
but
That's awesome, man.
yeah, yeah. I guess I mean I can touch on the merch a little better if you want.
Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah. Get at it.
Yeah, because my artistic skills are probably not the best in the world, but I know like what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And I work very closely with Justin. He works with We Grind Apparel, so orders all the blanks for us, does all the screen printing, and I've been working with him since day one, so huge help. But I kind of know what I'm looking for and kind of the vibe I want to paint, and then he kind of just brings it to life,
Mhm.
whether it's the Rhino designs that we've been doing or kind of minimalistic things or a little more, you know, busy designs, I guess.
Yeah, I like me. You see how I edit videos? It's pretty busy.
I'm gonna take my hoodie off.
Yeah, do your thing, man. Do your
Little
thing.
toasty. And I can.
We're not matching it if you take it off, though, Will. I mean, we were rocking it out.
Show the world my.
Will showed up, and he's wearing the same hoodie as me. And, you know, like sometimes, maybe more with the ladies, but like you show up to an event, everyone's wearing the same thing. Like, oh, no. I didn't feel that. I was like, hey, twinning.
V and I are twins today.
Twinning.
All right, sorry about that.
Yeah. Yeah, graphic design is like, it's interesting. It's like, I always was like, oh, I want to do this so I can like do my own stuff. And I thought I had a good eye for it. And then like you start designing it, and then it's just like, it's so different when you're making it. But I don't know. I think you clearly have a winner, because I have, dude. I made a joke, but it's like I was like, wait a minute, it's almost true. Like 5% of my wardrobe now says vintage iron on it. I got like the green hoodie, I got the lavender. You know what's funny? Is like, I don't know if it was because like I was younger, right? And like I didn't want to wear the same stuff as other people, right? And like that is still embedded in my brain. So like I'll go out in public, I'll go to the gym, and like somebody else is wearing vintage, and like it doesn't feel wrong though. Like I still have it embedded in my brain, so my brain fires, but I'm like, no, like it doesn't feel like we're all cool. like we're not like conforming around like, you know, I don't know, bro. Yeah, it's
definitely been one hell of a, I don't know if accident's the right word, but I knew I wanted like shirts with the logo on it because the logo is cool.
Yeah.
And then it just kept being like, damn, we sold out of shirts. All right, another order. Damn, we sold out of shirts. And now we're doing custom shorts and sweats, and we have joggers coming, and we've done hats. And if I could do Nike shoes or just shoes or underwear, I would probably do that.
Hey,
socks.
Underwear might be a little easier than shoes. Man. Shoe game to tap into that is definitely a higher MOQ over there. But I'd love to see it, man. I know you got at least one guy that's gonna buy them. So
yeah, it's just been crazy. You know, I keep saying that a lot, but I think that's, in my mind, I never thought we'd get here this fast.
Yeah. And I mean, most people miss that. And I can't really put a finger on it because I've never done it, man. Like, you've really been doing it. But you have, like, some raving fans. I consider myself one of them.
I'm glad to have you.
Thanks, man. Always felt the love in there. You know who else I feel love from now is I got with, so I guess Andrew. Andrew's my new coach. I signed up with
Let's
Andrew.
go, Andrew.
I've been on it with him, but he's a newer face to vintage, right?
Yeah, I think I can't remember or like when he signed up, but maybe a few months ago.
Okay.
But he's been great. Now he's on board with us. He's doing online and in-person training. Very passionate about what he does.
You can see it, dude. You can see it in his eyes. Like when I started talking to him and he gets like all excited, I'm like, yo, this dude definitely like is passionate, and he knows his stuff. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, he competed bodybuilding shows as well. He has a lot of lifestyle clients as well. And just very knowledgeable, good at what he does. So,
the first time I met him, he was wearing a Spider-Man suit. But like, I was like,
was that actually the first time you met him?
That was the first time.
Awesome.
That was the first time because I was out for my surgery and everything like that. But I was like, dang, dude, this Spider-Man dude's yoked. I had no idea. Like he technically is a trainer there. Do you have anybody else on that side, or
not right now?
Not right now.
Not right now.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're still trying to get that side of the business rolling a little bit.
You're selective, is what it is. Like you don't like impulse make decisions. Like I know we're like sitting here saying that like, oh, you build it so fast, but I don't know. I don't really know, but like I feel like you have like a discerning eye, right? Like you're like you don't want to, again, going back to like that word vision. I feel like you're
vision's important.
Yeah, you don't want to like just throw a bunch of shit at the wall and hope it sticks. Like you really are intentional, aren't you?
And I would say too with personal training, especially in vintage iron. I mean, with you take let's say maybe a bigger corporate chain, there's a lot of pressure up top because I worked at big commercial gym before I opened mine, and a lot of pressure to sell personal training to someone who might not want it or even need it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of pressure to kind of sell those packages. And, when people sign up at the gym, we don't even, like, I guess sell the membership, or we don't like sell the gym to someone.
Yeah.
Because we're confident in what we have and what we've built and where we're going. If you want to be a part of that, then they're going to be a part of it. So when I was a sales person at, a corporate gym, oh boy, very, very kind of related to the car sales in a way, but for a gym membership. And there's nothing wrong with car sales at all, but I think a different type of selling.
Yeah, sure.
So I Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that, but
Yeah, I get the feeling. It's like, just technically I'm in sales, right? But then a large reason I do this podcast
well,
is
so am I.
because it's like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But like, there's different sales frameworks. There's different kinds. There's like high pressure, straight line selling,
Yeah.
just very like I consider that a little bit old school, right?
Hmm.
And it doesn't work as well in general, I would say. I take more of like the advisory style of things,
Yeah.
but mainly I in life in general, like right, I just want to attract. I don't want to promote. I would much rather be
Yeah.
the attractor of good things in my life by doing good work,
It's
by
great.
having a good vision, by having good principles. And it's cool, man. I think that's why we're getting along pretty well. And that I respect you before we even started chatting a little bit here and there at the gym. What would you say is like the long term vision for you at Vintage? And with that, I'll add a
Hmm.
little things. I know you care a lot about your members.
Hmm.
I personally felt it. I haven't really talked to any people about this, but I'm like, God, I hope not too many people should join up here because, like, I just don't see how they wouldn't join up here.
Yeah.
But I do love the vibe. I almost don't want it to change. So, I mean,
Yeah.
how do you keep your
I
current
mean,
members happy and move forward to that
yeah,
vision, whatever it is?
that's a great question. And I mean, I kind of was. Uh, someone basically brought that question to me when we just had the original side. They're like, "We love how it's just right here. Uh, we don't want it to get super busy because a lot of people hate the overcrowded gyms, and I get that. So some of that is also factored into the pricing, and we keep adding value. And that's a big thing with business in general is just keep adding value.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've had a price increase twice. So, we have people who are serious about their fitness and people who want to be a part of something like what we've created. So the price reflects that as well. But we are 24/7, the equipment, et cetera, et cetera. But that kind of, if we were 10, $20 a month, we would have a lot more members.
Oh yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
I think just how I like doing things, running a business, I'm very hands on. I try to know every single person who comes into the door. So, just how I am. But long term vision with Vintage Iron, I would love a second one.
Oh yeah.
I think there's a lot of value in a second one.
Sure.
Uh, Slightly different vibe, but it's still Vintage Iron. So we're planning.
Oh snap.
But it's very, very early.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I see with how we've done things and the type of reputation we're building, locally owned, great product, clean gym, those kind of things matter. So trying to share that with, another location somewhere far away where members could take advantage of both, I think would be huge.
Somewhere far away, you said?
No. Sorry, closer.
Somewhere
Like,
closer. Gotcha.
but
Gotcha.
not too close.
Got it. Yeah.
So-
yeah. Not tripping over yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's probably, things like that would take a long time, but you never know. So, but I think keep evolving, keep growing. And if we have, quote, too many people, then we'll just keep growing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's tight, man. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like I think a lot of people would unabashedly answer that as like I want to like own 100 locations and like be a franchise this and that. And like I think the
Yeah.
reason you don't go that way is because that's like it's not part of your vision, but like like that kind of scale and going that fast and everything like that. I think it's just not realistic for one in
Yeah.
a sense without compromising what you've built, right? Your
Yeah.
identity and like the level of service, the level of connection. Maybe I'm wrong there, but
no, I think you hit the nail on the head because like I said, I love being very hands on, interacting with members and stuff. I think there's a lot of value in that.
mm-hmm.
And, let's say I opened one in California, that's a long ways away.
Sure is.
So that owner to member relationship at a professional level would be a little different than I'm in the gym like all day, every day,
Yeah.
talking to people. I'll go out to eat and like, I'll see some of the members who work at X restaurant or something. And it's just cool to say like, hey, what's up, man? So just trying to keep that, I think, is important.
Yeah.
So
Very cool. Very cool. So what else do you do outside of Vintage? I know being an
Oh,
entrepreneur
man.
is like a 90-hour-a-week job, but anything else you like doing?
what else do I do? I play a lot of Fortnite.
Still playing the Fortnite.
I
Love
do
it.
play a lot of
Love
Fortnite.
it.
They brought back the OG season.
Dude, I'm
So
clueless, bro. Like
that's all right.
I used to play Modern Warfare way too much,
Okay.
and I never thought I'd stop playing like RPGs. And then one
Hmm.
day I just like stopped, and
Yeah.
and I miss it, dude. Like I miss it. Like I remember like having friends from all over, and just like
Yeah.
it's like it was complete like decompression time for me.
Yeah.
So I kind of miss that. Maybe need to get back into Fortnite or something.
I'd say I guess I don't really have too many hobbies right now. I mean, the gym kind of was my hobby, and
Yeah,
now it's kind of everything.
sure.
But yeah, obviously still try to find time for myself to work out, and that's kind of my time to not be.
You're stronger than I thought, dude. I didn't know. Like, I don't know. I think I'm like I looked at that shit. I was like, he's got some muscle, but he ain't that strong. And he like grabbed like those 200s and started incline
I appreciate that.
dumbbelling it up. I was like, oh shit. I think you were dressed like a blind referee.
Yeah.
Yeah. It took me a
Yeah, it was
minute
a
to
good time.
understand what was going on there. And then you put on the glasses. I was like, oh, he's blind. He's
I had to ref the competition.
Were you blind, ref? But yeah, you threw him up, man. So your personal fitness journey. I mean, what's your ideal physique? Because I think a
My
lot of
ideal
you see
physique?
a lot of different people, and people have different goals, and
Yeah.
it's a subjective thing, right? What's
Yeah.
what's the ideal physique for Will?
Ideal physique for Will. What does that look like? Uh, Jacked gym owner.
Hey,
I guess. But no, I mean, I've been working uh, with my coach Blake. Kind of took a little bit of a break there, not hitting it as consistently as I would like, but you know, not making excuses for myself, but that's just kind of what happened, right? So I wasn't prioritizing all my lifts like I should. We had the expansion going on, and uh, but yeah, I've been working with Blake since day one. He's opening Unrivaled Iron in Frederick, Maryland.
no kidding.
Him and his business partner Mark.
Yeah,
So that'll be opening up soon. But yeah, Blake and I have been working together for a while now. I still remember the first time I talked to him on the phone. It was like April. I was like, "Hey, I'm opening a gym and I want to get in really good shape." And we got in pretty damn good shape. um, but I've definitely put on some size since then in a good way. And then now, starting to finally get fully back on track. Every single meal, 6 meals a day,
that's where I'm at, man. No days off.
lifting,
I'm on it too.
trying to get my cardio in.
That's the one that I've always kind of like, because I save it for the end, but then I always kind of like, I feel like I'd lifted some heavy ass weight, even skip the cardio, skip the cardio. But I'm not compromising on anything.
Yeah.
Any little bit of that volume that I'm getting in my little app through Andrew, I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, non-negotiable, right? That's tight, man. Yeah, I think for me, if I think Chris Esposito is like super freaking yoked, bro.
Chris looks great, man. He's always like, "I'm small," and I'm like, "Chris, you're not small." Chris is
Dude.
one of the members of the gym.
Yeah, Chris
Great guy.
E. I don't know if I want to like
Great guy.
dox his whole like last name and everything, but
Chris
if
E.
you check out Vintage Iron's story, like he's on there like he's a sleeper. Like, cause like if you see him, he'll wear like kind of like he's got like some like sweats on and like kind of like a baggy like sweater,
Hmm.
and he's got like kind of like a leaner looking face when you first look at him. No, don't get me wrong. I know he's got muscle. The first time I met dude, he's wearing
got
like
a lot of
shirt. I'm like,
muscle.
oh yeah, dude, that dude works out.
Yeah.
Like he eats right, he does everything right. But then like you see him in the gym, and you're like, yo, that is efficient muscle, dude. That is
Yeah,
very
he's a strong man.
yeah.
And I honestly too. I mean, like people like that, and people that are motivated, and because I say hi to everyone. They come in like, "Oh, like, what are you hitting today?" Or "How you feeling today?" Like, I'm here. And sometimes someone like Chris is like, I'm here. Like people are still showing up, right? And just being around people like that, and we have a lot of people like that want to constantly keep getting better and pushing themselves, and that makes you want to keep showing up and getting better yourself. So
Man, yeah.
being around people like that it's invaluable, I would say. So again, the people you surround yourself with or you associate with, whatever it is, that rubs off on you in a good or a bad way. So
That's deep, man. That's deep. Having the right people around you in the gym, in
yeah.
life in general. But like I remember like when I got my first personal training session, I was 15. I was always kind of like a chubby kid. And my dad like signed me up. He's like, you're going to this gym. And the dude, like, he was an MMA fighter and a personal trainer,
Mhm.
and, like, you could tell he got rocked, like, you could just kinda like, somebody gets rocked in the ring, like, you can just kinda see it, like, he definitely got rocked, and, he's got me deadlifting my first session ever, like, not enough warming up, and I'm like, I didn't know any better, I didn't know anything,
Yeah.
and, like, looking back on that, like, I know for a fact, I remember that session, he did not care what my form looked like, he was just like, "Lift this heavy ass weight,"
Yeah.
and, I don't blame him because he got coached probably by, like, some dumb high school football coach
Mhm.
and like I'm big on form now and I'm
Yeah.
I'm big on like because like here's a few things that I think early on in the gym, right? Number one, when you talk about seeing people that are like committed, motivated, and now that like wow, those guys work hard and they're showing
Mhm.
up and it motivates me.
Yeah.
Early on, I'd get intimidated by those people. I'd be like, oh
Oh, yeah.
man, yeah.
And I think Vintage Art has created an atmosphere where, I mean, all like I watch everything, right? Well, that's a good or bad thing. I don't know, but like just having I always say like, I have a great like pulse on what my business is doing and how it's operating, and a part of that is like seeing whether it's newer people or people that are newer to fitness going up to someone who's been lifting for a long time, or asking for advice. It happens a lot, and I've seen it at other gyms before, but like it happens a lot, and I think that's a great thing. And you know, not that people shouldn't be saying like, "Hey, what's up?" or trying to talk forever to people, but like in the gym. But when those advanced lifters like take a little bit of time to be like, "Hey, this is how you do X," or share a little bit of knowledge, like it's kind of cool to see. And again, just back to the community aspect of it, like seeing all of that powerlifting, bodybuilding, how to do a curl, like anything, right? So
Yeah,
it's cool to see.
yeah. It's funny, like, I think back and, like, if somebody walked up to me in the gym and, like, corrected me when I was, like, a 16-year-old, I
Yeah.
would have been, like, scared, and I probably reacted all angry, like, just out of, like, a
I know what I'm
knee-jerk,
doing.
like, "I know what to do, leave me
Yeah.
alone, get away from me."
Fair.
And now, like, I remember being at, like, PFit probably like, a couple years ago, and I see this lady, she looks like deer in headlights,
Mhm.
and she gets on, like, the squat machine, the PFit version, right? And she's just like she's gonna hurt herself, bro,
Yeah.
right? And, like, there's, like, at least, like, 10 other people watching this go down, and I know I'm like, I don't wanna, like, scare her away from, like, ever going to the gym,
Yeah.
but I see it, "Nah, I gotta do it, dude, like, she's really gonna hurt herself."
Mhm.
And, I went up, and she had the reaction that I would have had at 16, which she wasn't, like, mad at me, but she was just like, "No, leave me alone," like, and then just, like,
Yeah.
and, I don't know, like, if you're watching this and you see me, like, with bad form, and you actually know what you're talking about, that's the qualifier, right? Like,
Please help.
just say something, dude. I'm not gonna get offended, but you have to give people permission to an extent, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I've learned gym etiquette, and the biggest one for me is re-rack your damn weights.
Amen.
One more time for the crowd in the back, Will. Tell them.
Please re-rack your weights.
You ever seen Key and Peele, where like they have like the anger, the Obama's like anger translator?
I don't know if I've seen
Oh,
that.
dude, it's such a good skit. But it's like you have to say it nicely. I don't have to. It's like
Yeah.
rack your motherfucking weights, bitch.
Man, can we talk about re-racking your weights though?
Can we talk about
Just
body
for a
odor?
second?
Can we talk about what's the
That's
official
crazy.
vintage iron policy? Straight from the owner, Will
Oh, that's
Martin.
crazy. That's on the
If
spot.
if is there like a 3 foot rule? Like if I can smell your stank ass from 3 foot away, I can tell you like, hey, bro.
Man, I would just say, please wear deodorant.
Great invention. And if
Please.
you're like kind of on the I don't want to say hippie. Is that offensive now? I don't know. Like, hey, I used to be a hippie. I used to be like a pretty psychedelic dude. Uh, there's like non-toxic deodorant. Have you ever met
Yeah.
somebody that's like, oh, I don't wear deodorant because it keeps all the toxins in your body? I'm
I don't
like,
think so.
well, it ain't keeping the toxins out my fucking nose right now. That's for sure, dude. Like,
We should create an outdoor area.
hey, there you go. You ever see yourself going like the jailhouse style, like where it's like
I think it'd be cool.
it's pretty cool,
It'd be
right?
cool, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It would just be like, I've been to like a lot of gyms. Like you take a lot of inspiration from like different, like how gyms do certain things. And it's like, uh, yeah, taking something like whether it's a garage door, because we don't have garage doors, right? And I'm coming from, again, a gym owner who doesn't have them and like a gym user who goes to a gym before like that.
Sure.
And I think something like that would be so gnarly to have.
Dude, that'd be
But
super
then
tight. Yeah.
but then I'm like, as a business owner, I'm like, okay, since I don't own a business with garage doors, does a lot of stuff come in?
Logistics.
Well, yeah, the logistics. So,
Yeah.
but it makes the atmosphere super cool when it's nice out. 10 out of 10.
I feel like nobody really uses it consistently except like a select few. So like utility wise, like it's cool. It's also like cool to look at, right? Like there's stuff that I won't
Yeah.
use at vintage, but I'm like, that's cool to look at. Like I like that. I like that for you. I love
What
that for you,
what
bro.
specifically?
Um, like here's one thing, right? Like I do my warm ups at home. Like I don't like rolling in front of people too much.
That's all right.
Like so like I use that. So that's not a good example. Squat racks. Just came off a knee injury, but even after it heals up, like I think there's
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna do like a traditional squat.
Do you curl in the squat rack?
Do I what?
Do you curl in the squat rack?
No,
Okay.
no. Yeah, you
I
saw
guess
me on
it's like
camera,
the
didn't you?
it's like the unwritten rule, I guess. I've curled in the squat rack though. We have a lot of them.
I'm on night shift right now. Meaning I don't work that vintage, but like I've been going. It's like I just woke up at like 11. And I'm like I'm taking a break from like real estate to like do my other software
Mhm.
stuff, and so I'm like I can sleep until 11 o'clock every day, and then I can go to the gym at midnight, and it's so quiet. It's so awesome, and I get so much more done. I'm so focused. I don't have to like look at someone, and like I never really have to wait for anything in vintage because like I know enough to like find any
Yeah.
really good alternative at any given moment, and it's always like not that far away. And, anyway, but I'm on night shift. I'm calling it night shift because like I was there last night and the night
Mhm.
before at like midnight, 1 o'clock. Swipe in.
Nice.
There's one other person, two other people, and it's nice when like you don't have to like feel like, hey, if I don't wipe this down. And I can run 3 machines at once.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like
The
not have to
superset.
like, yeah. Well, it's not even a superset. It's just like I like warm up, then I go do a warm up on shoulders, then I go do a warm up on this other machine, and there's only me in the gym.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, and then like so I'm not really interfering with somebody else's workout,
Yeah.
because there's no way anybody other than the ghosts need to
So-
like roll up on this incline other than me right now. So
Sometimes there's nothing better than an empty gym.
yeah.
So
Yeah. But it never gets packed. It's like but I
no,
also
it's
like
not too bad.
I got in the habit long ago of like not going to like the traditionally universally like busy gym hours.
Oh, like 6 o'clock and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like in college towns it's like sometimes a little bit earlier, but like
Mhm.
5 to 6, like I just won't go. Like in my head it's just like a mental block of like I'm
Yeah.
just not gonna go at that time. 5, 6, 7, like that little gap there. But I socialize a little bit. I'm kind of like if you see me and like I avoid eye contact with you at the gym, it's because like I'm trying to be serious and I'm too social, right?
That's like me.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I'm trying not to make too many friends intentionally because I'm like, dude, I'll just like come in here and I'll talk and I'll talk. And then every time I gotta be like polite because now we know each other. We've had that first conversation. Yeah.
I think that's an important thing though with I mean, especially for me, like I have to like almost like flip a switch, like not being, you know, working well, I guess. Or like having conversations with a lot of people when I'm working out because I need that time to work out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
usually have a hood up or hat on, just trying to be in my own little world, and so.
Yeah.
But then fist bump here and there. What's up? Never hurt anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
But
I don't know. I'm just like I'm not socially awkward, but I always feel like bad because I'm like, oh, like Anyway, focus is tough for me right now, and I'm trying to like really just not worry about the amount of weight or anything like that, and
Yeah.
just get every single rep in and just fall like really into the habits, right? So it's been great, man. It's funny. Like as soon as somebody just tells me what to do, I'm like, okay, I'm just following directions now.
yeah.
And I was so like against coaching because I'm like such a like DIY kind of person. Speaking of which, you must be like a jet engine mechanic at this point.
Honestly, I kind of think so. You call it like Bob the Builder.
Do you have like like a background in this, or like are you
Absolutely
like
not.
because you've got like in my head I'm like you've got like equipment that is like truly vintage,
Mhm.
and I imagine it's hard to pop onto YouTube and figure out how to fix it off of just that. So like, what does that look like for you?
Man, I would say like starting out, like my biggest worry was like not like the equipment was going to break because I knew it was fine, but like where do I find a bolt or something?
Mm.
Like not very hands on at this time, but um Yeah, there's a couple websites out there that will find like replacement parts and stuff. So you know, yeah, like, it's day one that we opened, like I had like probably four machines that didn't have like knobs on them
Oof.
because it was just things I overlooked. So it was learning and you know really just learning, talking to some of the equipment guys in the industry about how to fix X, Y, and Z, and
Have you like been like on Google like late at night, like looking for like some manual from like the 80s or something?
actually no, but yeah, definitely doing a lot of research because I take a lot of pride in the equipment, so I want to make sure it's functioning correctly. And some things you just can't find, which you take a little bit of a gamble with
Mhm.
pieces like that. But if you know where to look, then you should be
You know
okay.
where to look. I love that. Cause like you know what I love that is like we're on like such an Amazon generation where like you miss like I kind of miss the thrill of like having to like search out that new drop or who's got this. Is it like this vintage
Yeah.
store? But one thing I want to touch on is like I
Mhm.
think a lot of people don't understand the appeal to some people, not everyone, because you've got like brand new like top of the line equipment next to something that works the same muscle groups that's like from 70s, 80s, 90s design.
Yeah.
Is it a functionality thing? Or are people getting like a certain range of motion on those older machines, or do they just like the nostalgia of it? Is there a combination thereof? Like, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I'd probably say it's probably a combination of both. I mean, obviously, everyone's body's a little different, so some things might hit a little better than others. But for example, our probably rarest piece and our most expensive piece is the flex leverage chest press we have.
Oh.
So, in my opinion, probably the goat of chest presses. Just the I guess biomechanics on it is great. The converging chest presses is great. Um, then that's right next to one of our brand new Atlantis chest presses, right? And I prefer the old school over the new school,
The Atlantis feels
but the
almost
Atlantis
like
is great.
it's great, but it almost
Yeah.
feels like I feel like I'm stronger than I am on that
You can definitely
sometimes.
stack some plates.
You can definitely say I was like, oh man, I feel like a beast right
You're
now.
right.
It hits a little different when you know. It's I love that Atlanta stuff, man. I walked in,
Yeah.
I saw like the shoulder machine, I was like, oh
The
yeah,
vertical leg
let's go.
press. That's
Especially because
definitely a unique one.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I haven't gotten into it yet. Just like taking it easy on the legs, like just getting my stabilizers
Yeah.
back after surgery. But yeah, especially for me, man. Like I've had injuries, and like I used to think it was not cool to use like Smith machines or any kind
hmm
of machine. I was like a free weight guy. I want to like do old school, and like that's great. And
Yeah.
if you've got good form and you know what you're getting into, what I see like for me after having my surgery, that's where like I had like my reality check of like, man, I got to think about longevity here now more than
Yeah.
ever. And really, even on the short term, I was like, man, I was out of work and I was like, oh man, I'm 1099. Like
Yeah.
I gotta kill what you eat. You know, you've been in sales, it's kind of similar thing. And
Yeah.
getting injured sucks.
It does. Yeah. I've been fortunate recently not having any big injuries, but I mean, if it wasn't for my ACL tear back in high school, I don't think I'd be where I'm at now. That kind of kickstarted everything, lifting wise. So, kind of thankful for that in hindsight.
Yeah.
But um, yeah, here we are. Knees are okay. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess. But
Well,
yeah, no. Um, banter, 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 banter.
yeah, yeah. Well, shoot, dude. I don't want to force it, man. We had such a
No,
good
of course, of course,
conversation,
of
bro. We
course.
had such a good conversation. I know. Oh, dang, it is late,
Time flies when you're having
dude.
fun.
We got to do this again. We got to do this
I
again.
would definitely be very down for that.
My man, Will,
Yeah,
dude.
that was
Anything you want to tell the audience? Want to tell them, hey, dude, come. I'll tell them. Join Vintage, man. It's primo.
Yeah, no, I mean, I appreciate it again. Have me on and, you know, just talking about whatever. Definitely I'll do it again. Uh, we have a big Black Friday sale going on. So I can't give you the details yet, but if this comes out before then, check our socials.
It
So
definitely will,
it'd be
man.
huge.
And yeah, if I see anybody sporting vintage, man, it has a special place in my heart, man.
Yeah.
You're a genuinely good dude beyond
Appreciate it,
a
man.
really ambitious, inspiring, man. Seriously inspiring. Like I
Yeah.
think you're shaping the identity of Winchester. Maybe you don't think of it that way. You seem like a pretty humble dude, but to me, it's like wow, young business owner taking some big risks,
Yeah.
building a community within a larger community that you literally see that pride of Winchester. I feel like in your brand, man. So keep crushing it, man.
Definitely.
I will see you at the gym, and hopefully we see some of you too.
Absolutely.
Take it easy, Will.
Absolutely.
Thanks, brother.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Killer.
That was good, man.
Oh, killer.
I hope I sounded okay. Hope that was good.
Dude, you're on it, man. You got you got the vibe. I know, like, for me, I look at myself. I don't like beat myself up about it, but I do so much marketing. I'm like, you have like this hidden trust factor. What is everything? Hidden trust factor. Like, it's apparent. Like, there's a guy running for president right now, and I think he's like the most qualified, the most like intelligent, like most genuine. But like, I know he knows it too. Like, he comes across as like disingenuous. Like, he comes across like people don't like trust him because he's like like, I get him because I feel that way.
Yeah.
Not that I'm like this person, but just the way that you.
Yeah, no,
You're man, but
I appreciate you, brother.
I won't keep you around.
No, that was great.
Give me some time.
Yeah.
I'll cut this together. Probably today. 'Cause I did.